This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Warrenville City Council regular meeting for November 2nd, 2020. In accordance with social distancing requirements, Governor Pritzker's Executive Orders 2020-43 and 2020-44, and Section 7C of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, this meeting will be held virtually. Persons wishing to provide public comment are strongly encouraged to submit written comments via email at info@warrenville.il.us by 5 p.m. the day of the meeting. Please be reminded that this meeting is being recorded. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Ashour.
Here.
Alderman Berry.
Here.
Alderman Bevere.
Here.
Alderman Davalos. Alderman Davalos.
She's here.
Well, she's here.
Yep.
Alderman Goodman.
Here.
Alderman Krischel.
Here.
Alderman Widener.
Here.
Alderman Wilson.
Here.
Mayor Brummel.
Here.
Treasurer Brenner.
Here.
City Attorney Brooke Lenneman.
Here.
City Administrator John Coakley.
Here.
Assistant City Administrator Christina White.
Here.
Police Chief Ray Toronto.
Here.
Finance Director Kevin Dahlstrand.
Here.
Community and Economic Development Director Ron Menzer.
Here.
Deputy Public Works Director Phil Kukler.
Here.
Thank you. We will now say the Pledge of Allegiance here. I invite you to say it along with us silently at home. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening. We have a proclamation this evening for School Board Members Day, and we have School Board Member Jim Matheson here to receive that. We'll do that right now. Seems like we just did this, but it was a year ago, right?
Nothing's happened.
It's been so quiet. School Board Members Day, November 15th, 2020. Whereas school board members are elected to sit in trust for their diverse communities, and in that capacity are charged with meeting the community's expectations and aspirations for the public education of their children. And whereas school board members are entrusted with the guardianship and wise expenditure of scarce tax dollars, they are responsible for maintaining and preserving the buildings, grounds, and other areas of the school district that the community has put in their trust. And whereas school board members are responsible for providing leadership that ensures a clear, shared vision of public education for their schools, that sets high standards for the education of all students and requires the effective and efficient operation of their districts. And whereas school board members adopt public policy to give voice to that leadership and employ a superintendent to administer board policy, they are also responsible for the regular monitoring of the district's performance and compliance with state policy. Whereas school board members selflessly volunteer countless hours to public service with no compensation. And whereas employers are supportive of their employees who serve as school board members, generously lending support and time, employers give their employees the opportunity to better serve the needs of school districts and citizens they represent through sometimes tremendous sacrifice to the employer. And whereas decisions made by school board members directly impact the quality of life in their communities, placing them at the front line of American democracy. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, David L. Brummel, Mayor of the City of Warrenville, proclaim November 15th, 2020 as School Board Members Day as a way to honor those citizens who devote so much of their time and energy for the education of our children. And I would add, especially in these times, we very, very much appreciate your efforts to try to keep us on a track of success. So thank you for coming tonight, Jim.
Thank
And
you.
this is for you, and please say a few words.
Yeah, this has been as you mentioned, a year ago things are a little different a year ago, and we've done our best to offer the alternatives to the community for those that want to attend in person. We've had the elementary schools in person since basically early September. We've continued, or we just began the high schools and middle schools on an alternating hybrid scale, and it's been quite a challenge. But so far, so good, and hopefully we can continue that and soon get back in full time. So thank you again for this recognition.
Thank you, Jim.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on to the portion of our meeting that's set aside for citizens' comments. We have one citizen here tonight in person. Would you like to come up, Bob?
Bob Siebert, Albright Court. I view voting not as a requirement, but as an opportunity to convey to the politicians what we, the citizens, consider important issues and values. Therefore, I applaud the individuals who have already voted, and I encourage the rest to vote tomorrow. One issue that concerns me is the uneven press that the police have received. I will tell you about a female police officer, her fears, her accomplishments, and her hopes. She is only one of the hundreds of thousands of excellent police officers who are suffering due to the unacceptable actions of a few. This summer, this female officer received a 911 call about a suspicious car in a known problem area. When she identified the car, the windows were highly tinted and she could not see the number of persons or if there were weapons. She said that as she approached the vehicle, she thought this might be her time, very concerned about who and what might be in the vehicle, but it was her job. A second 911 call this fall stated that an individual had attacked and kicked a person in the head. He was wearing a hoodie, had long hair, and was running from the area. This female officer identified the suspect and began a discussion with him. Immediately, she knew that he had major mental problems. She knew this because she holds a bachelor's degree from University of Illinois in psychology and a master's degree from Purdue University in psychology. She was able to convince the suspect that his best decision would be to go to the hospital for treatment. She even talked him into voluntarily putting on the handcuffs. I'm sure that Chief Toronto could talk for hours on the many good deeds that the police officers have accomplished. I will only say to the police officers, thank you for your service and may God be with you.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have anyone on the telephone who'd like to make comments this evening? Okay, hearing none, do we have any email comments that have been presented to us ahead of time? No. We have none of those also. Okay, very good. We will move on then. This is, once we conclude this portion of our meeting, there will be no other opportunity for public comment this evening. We'll go on to official and staff comments. I have several things this evening that I would like to share to begin on. First of all, as I hope all of you are aware, tomorrow is Election Day, November 3rd. If you haven't already done so, get out and vote, please. Regardless of the outcome, it's a valuable part of our democratic process more than ever, I think. So please do vote if you haven't already. Help support our local retail and food and beverage establishments by shopping local and ordering takeout or dining al fresco while the weather is still nice. They will appreciate it, and they need the help, all the help they can get at this point as things appear to be getting a little tougher. The COVID-19, DuPage County is experiencing a rise in COVID-19 activity. Residents are strongly encouraged to continue following personal protective measures for the prevention and spread of COVID-19 by wearing a mask in public, washing your hands, and maintaining a safe social distance from people outside your household. And please remember, stay home when you feel sick. It's very important to stay focused on working together as a community to slow the spread of the virus and keep our friends, loved ones, and neighbors safe. This has not gone away. It's still there. It's still just as dangerous as it has been in the past. That's all I have for this evening. Clerk?
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer?
No report.
Thank you. We'll move on to the aldermen individually then. I will call on them as we do for every meeting, beginning with Alderman Ashour.
No comment.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Berry?
Yes, I'd like to make one comment in congratulating Christina White, the Assistant City Administrator. She was appointed the President of the Illinois Public Employers Labor Relation Association, and they provide training and support to human resources and labor relations professionals. Congratulations, Christina. That's high praise, and I'm sure you will do a good job. I also want to thank Christina for the wonderful job that she's done for the past several years, taking care of the Tourism and Arts Commission. She has decided to move on to our new commission, and we now have Leo Bellstrand from the Finance Department, who will be the representative, staff representative to the Tourism and Arts Commission. But I want to thank Christina for the wonderful job that she has done over the last years, really keeping us in line, getting us organized, taking care of the books. She's really done a great job. So thank you very much, Christina, and congratulations in your new position.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Bevere?
No comment.
Thank you. Alderman Davalos?
Yes, I'd like to wish happy birthday to Alderman Goodman. She was so lucky and got an extra hour in her birthday since it was yesterday. And I thank her for all that she does on this council. I was also going to talk about Assistant City Administrator White, and so I just would repeat the words of Alderman Berry. And I'm always very proud of our staff, and I think this is just it's just wonderful that one of our best staff members got appointed to this position, or elected, or not quite sure, but it's really kind of wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Goodman, first, happy birthday from all of us here at City Hall, and then if you have a comment.
Thank you very much to you and to Alderman Davalos specifically. That's very kind of you. I had a really great birthday yesterday. I would like to second the comments that have already been made about Election Day tomorrow, to encourage everybody to vote. For those who may not know, same-day voter registration is available. So if you're an eligible voter, then please take advantage of the opportunity and go ahead and register and vote the same day. If you've got the appropriate documentation, all the information is available on the county clerk's website. And very fortunately to us, I think our county clerk has been doing a really great job so far with administering a very complex election situation. I want to pass on my thanks to her and the people in her office for all the hard work, and also thanks in advance to all the poll watchers and election judges and all the people who are going to be working so hard tomorrow to make this all happen. It's a tremendous task, but it's very important for our democracy. I know that so many people have been spending time talking about what's wrong with our democracy lately, and saying that our mail system won't be reliable to process the ballots, or that our election system won't be reliable. But I think that all of those things so far seem to be working very well. And I really want to thank all the letter carriers, all the election officials, all the volunteers, all the people who work so hard to make our complicated democracy happen. And it's a big job, and they're doing it very well. And I hope everything goes very smoothly tomorrow. So thank you to all of them.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Krischel.
Thanks. Just wanted to comment about the weekend and the trick-or-treating and how I was impressed at all the creative ways to hand out candy, from candy shoots to candy launchers to hanging candy, from strings and having kids pick it up. It was really nice. Weather was great. The police department was out in the community, which was really great to see. And I think given what we had to work with, it was a really great event. So everyone who helped out and was giving out candy and taking kids around, thank you very much. It really helped.
Thank you, Alderman. I would add too, thanks to the Park District for the parade that they had that went through the community. Very successful. A lot of kids out, a lot of smiling faces, a lot of parents taking movies of their kids, getting the candy from the parade. So it was a lot of fun. And as usual, the Park District did a nice job of providing a nice event for the community. So thank you for your comments, Alderman. Alderman Widener.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to add.
Thank you. And Alderman Wilson.
I have nothing to add either.
All right, thank you very much. We'll go to City Administrator then.
Thank you. A couple of additional comments, I guess, just on the whole COVID-19 situation. Again, I was on the sharing call with the DuPage mayors and managers, many of us, and the health department officials. They were just reiterating our numbers are climbing in all of Region 8. And if you're reading the media or you're reading any of the papers or looking online, the entire state now is, by Wednesday, will be under what's called the Tier 1 enhanced mitigation. So we're not alone in this area. Sadly, the whole state is having increases that are high enough to for the state to put more restrictions on of indoor dining and reduction in the number of crowds and all those things that we have here. It can get worse. We've got to be very, very careful. Holidays are coming. We're all indoors more. It has been a long time since we've been able to get together with family members and friends and all and do things we really want to do. But we've got to try to keep this down because there's a Tier 2 mitigation, which will start shutting down more things. Gyms, salons, hair cutting places will have crowds could be reduced to 10 instead of 25. It can get more restrictive. And there's a purpose behind it all. They also just reiterated, as the mayor said, wearing masks and how important that is. They were sharing information. It's on the DuPage County website or the Illinois Department of Public Health. If somebody wants to look it up, just how much that can help keep the spread from each of us. You never know who's carrying it. This thing is so invisible. It's what's so frustrating about it. And for me, geez, if I knew where the finish line was to this race, so to speak, this marathon, whatever it is we're under, I would feel a lot better because I know how much we had to keep pushing to the end. But we know we're a long way through it, and there's very likely vaccines coming. We've got to get through some more months of difficulty, but please take it seriously and be cautious because we really want to save lives. We want to protect our health, but we also want to save jobs and businesses. These are many of our local folks or places that we go and patronize just in our own town. So please keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, John. City Attorney Brooke.
I have no report tonight. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on then to the approval of the agenda for this evening. May I have a motion, please? Alderman Widener, would you like to do that?
Thank you. I move to approve the agenda for the November 2nd, 2020 City Council regular meeting.
Alderman Davalos, second.
We have a motion and a second. Does anyone have any changes that they wish to make to the agenda for this evening?
Alderman Goodman, I'd like to remove item 6A.
6A, okay. Okay, anyone else? Do the motioner and the seconder agree to that change to the agenda?
The motioner agrees.
Seconder agrees.
Okay. We have then an amended consent agenda for this evening. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Berry.
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Krischel,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Bevere,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you, Emily. We'll move on then to the approval of 2 sets of minutes this evening. Again, Alderman Widener.
Thank you. I move to approve the minutes of the October 19th, 2020 City Council regular meeting and move to approve the minutes of the October 19th, 2020 City Council closed session meeting.
Alderman Davalos, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on those minutes? Please identify yourself and speak up. Hearing none, we'll move on then to a roll call.
Alderman Krischel,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Bevere.
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you again, Emily. We'll go now to the reading of the consent agenda as amended for this evening. Item 6B, accept Mayor Brummel's recommendation and pass resolution R2020-64, extending the duration of the March 16th, 2020 declaration of emergency until the adjournment of the next regular, special, or emergency meeting of the City Council. C, accept a staff recommendation and approve the pay range for the position of part-time code enforcement officer as presented. D, receive and file minutes of the Police Pension Board regular meeting held on August 11th, 2020. E, receive and file minutes of the Bicyclist and Pedestrian Advisory Commission regular meeting held on September 1st, 2020. F, receive and file minutes of the Tourism and Arts Commission regular meeting held on September 17th, 2020. G, received and filed minutes of the Community Relations Task Force regular meeting held on September 29th, 2020. H, receive and file report of invoices paid up to October 28th, 2020 in the amount of $64,681.96. And I, authorize expenditures for invoices due on or before November 16th, 2020 and the amount of $256,820.71. May I have a motion, please, for approval?
Alderman Widener, motion to approve the agenda as presented by Mayor David Brummel.
Second, Alderman Davalos.
Motion and a second. Thank you. May I have a roll call again, please?
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Bevere.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Krischel.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you. The consent agenda as amended has been approved. We will return now to item 6A. Alderman Goodman, did you wish to bring that forward or did you want someone else to do it?
I think it's all right if I do. I'll make a motion to accept the staff recommendation, waive the second reading, and pass ordinance O 2020-37, amending the authorized strength ordinance.
Second, Alderman Davalos.
Okay, and discussion will start then with Alderman Goodman. As you made the motion, did you have comments or questions?
Yes, I guess the question might be for Phil. Sorry, Deputy Director Kukler. I saw that the fleet management technician was still listed on the authorized strength ordinance, which I thought might be a mistake, but I don't know, so I thought I would ask our Deputy Director.
Okay, Deputy Director Kukler.
It's a position we're not intending to fill this year. I don't know. I'd have to defer to either Assistant City Administrator White or City Administrator Coakley on how the authorized strength ordinance is done. It's a position we said before we're not going to fill this year. We're not eliminating the position necessarily entirely, but it's not. I don't anticipate being filled this year.
Okay, thank you. City Administrator Coakley.
Thank you. It hasn't been filled for a number of reasons. One is we have not found a qualified person in 3 tries, 3 recruitments we've performed. Secondly is we are sending out everything right now, and a few things in-house that we can, but all the mechanical work is being sent out, and it's working at this time. And we've also at least made a commitment to not fill it at this time. So it's still an authorized position of the city. We haven't given up and asked to have it removed or eliminated yet. We're reevaluating it, but there is still some hope that we might find someone in that position or a slightly modified one in the future. So I would not recommend that we remove it from the authorized strength ordinance at this point.
Okay, thank you, John. Alderman Goodman, is that helpful?
I guess. I mean, I think Phil had, or Deputy Director Kukler had presented a memo saying we were actually saving money this way, or it seemed that way at some point. Maybe that information might be out of date. So it was his recommendation not to hire for this position. But if staff wants to still spend time recruiting for a position that we're not going to fill, I guess they can.
Did you have something to add, Administrator Coakley?
Well, we're not actively recruiting for that at this time. You're correct, Alderman. We're going to be holding that, but we don't have an alternative at this point. So I would rather leave it on as a position that's authorized until we have something to come back with as a recommendation to change it, not simply remove it.
I thought we had already approved that memo from Phil months ago where he said we were going to contract the role out.
I think that's the current operating plan. We're just not asking to remove that position right now. Unless Phil has something else to add in there. That's what we're operating under. You're correct. We are currently saving money. We're still evaluating that. It has been going on for a while. It looks successful. We're just not ready to ask to remove it, but we are not actively recruiting.
Okay, Alderman Goodman again.
I guess it's just a little confusing why we would include it on the list then. I don't see what the point is.
Okay, we'll go to the other alderman then, in the order that we normally do it. Alderman Krischel, you would be next.
No comment.
Hey, Alderman Widener.
Yeah, I don't see any harm in leaving it on there. It leaves all our options open. If someone walks through the door that we believe may have the qualifications, it's good to have it there as a placeholder. I don't think it's likely after the different recruitment efforts we've made, but should we find an individual interested that meets the qualifications at some point in the future, it couldn't hurt to have this in place. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Wilson.
I think we should just keep it as it is now in the hopes that we do find somebody that can help us out. But I would keep it on the list.
Okay, thank you, Alderman. Alderman Ashauer.
The way it is fine. I think that the intentions are appropriate.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Berry.
I actually don't remember if we said we were going to eliminate the position. I think it was a temporary hold, as much as I can remember, and during one of my senior moments here. But I would prefer that we do leave it on the list. We still have to pay out for having the vehicles repaired and doing preventive maintenance. So there is money going out. It's just going out to a vendor instead of to an employee. Of course, we do save on a lot of insurance and different benefits. That's the whole thing. But if we could find somebody to fill that position, I think it would be a great idea. But as of right now, like you said, it's kind of difficult to get someone. So I would like to leave it in place at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Bevere.
Yeah, I'm fine leaving it just as it is in place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Alderman Davalos.
Yes, I don't have any other comments other than what's been talked about. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, everyone's been heard from then. We have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Christel,
Aye.
Alderman Bevere,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you, Emily. We have nothing under regular agenda. We have no unfinished business listed for this evening's meeting, and also no new business listed for this evening, and no need for a closed session. That leaves us with the necessity of one final motion, the motion to adjourn. If someone would like to put that forward.
Alderman Widener moves to adjourn.
Alderman Wilson seconds.
Very good. We have an alderman and a motion and a second. If I could have a roll call, please.
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Bevere.
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Christel,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you, Emily. We are adjourned. Thank you for your attention this evening. Please do vote tomorrow if you haven't voted, and please stay safe and healthy. We look forward to seeing you the next time around. Good evening.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good night.